everyone's good. Welcome, checkers and pleasers alike, to our show, Checkpoint. The show where we discuss and discern the discern? What the fuck did I say?
The curtain? I like
the curtain.
The curtain.
The curtain.
Titans.
The current events of the most recent episode of Check Please. And today we are discussing last night's episode of Check Please, episode 26. I would love to welcome our members today. I am Keni, your fortunate host. Foaly as my co-host for today's episode, as always.
Hello.
Beardy, our beloved daddy DM.
Hello.
Skrewy, our rock-hard holy man.
Hello.
Grem, our robot master and beloved gnome.
Hello.
And Zeno, our swap witch monger.
Hello.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. It's good to see everyone. Hope you're all well. How do we want to start this? How's everyone feeling? Game 2 of a live show. How are we feeling?
I'm loving it. Oh, I'm excited. I'm still loving
Yeah, it was still great.
I think mistakes were made.
Were they?
Whatever you
Some.
Would you like
Well,
some?
your mistakes or Petraeus' mistakes?
I mean, both?
We'll dig into
Why not
that.
both? Let's go with both.
We'll dig into it soon. Yeah, I agree with Foaly. But I'd say that I'm pretty happy with how things are going right now with the live show. I was very nervous about it because I wasn't sure how well we could fluidly go through stuff, but game 2, we're still doing hot.
I feel
Don't
like
worry,
it's
it's
pretty
an
good.
opportunity for me to sit up.
Oh, Beardy.
Hush up, girl. You be quiet.
It keeps things moving very smoothly, I think. I think
Yeah.
we've hit the ground running with it.
Yeah,
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
I think it's been getting better and better. So I disagree. I think that it's only going that you're getting the practice to consistently improve.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's been good the whole way through. I guess it's all kind of like, but I really enjoyed the whole sleuthing and stuff this session. It was a really good time.
It's our second murder mystery, guys.
Yeah. Murder
Well, I
mysteries
guess
abound.
Foley is first now.
It's my first. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
I half expected to hear rockapella going as we're walking around. And for
Rock-
those of you who don't know who
rockapella.
rockapella is,
Yeah.
they were a band who sang the song to Carmen Sandiego.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am, in the course of this, very tempted to go to the market in the town that we're in. I've forgotten the name of it. Icomius, I
Icomius,
remember.
Icomius,
Icomius. I'm going to try and find a meerschaum pipe and a deerstalker hat and get my sort of my Sherlock Holmes on and be like, oh,
Yes.
yes, indubitably, my dear Petraeus, indubitably. Mhm.
I thought very much about getting a Sherlock Holmes hat as early as season 1, and I decided, but Kenny was getting pretty upset with all the hats I was getting, so
Well, that's
decided
because I had to
pull it.
draw the
I know,
title
but that
cards, and I
was-
was like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, now
It doesn't-
get all the heads you
doesn't
want.
matter.
Yeah, get all the hats you fucking want, because I'm not gonna draw them.
It's been beaten into me by now. It's too late.
How's the hat coming on, by the way? For when can we see this amazing bee hat, this
mean,
bee-sized hat?
I don't
Yes.
think Levette's
Once
gonna
we
have
start
time to
traveling
work
again.
on it right now.
Once we start traveling again.
So yeah, if you spend the next 2 days working on it, you would finish it on the 2nd of July.
I am honestly pretty excited to see tiny bee-sized Hummel being able to talk and communicate because of his tiny bee-sized
Oh,
hat.
yeah, it's gonna be great.
I
It's
feel
gonna be
bad
so
for
good.
Zeno, mostly.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm like, poor
I-
Zeno having to play 2 characters at once.
I
feel
already
bad for
apologized
you.
to you for this once.
Okay, I asked before, and they seemed cool with it. So I wanted to make sure. I'm also
I
asked, can
believe
they
the-
do it, and
I believe the question was, can you cast this spell?
a yes was
you-
made.
Did you actually ask Zeno if he'd be comfortable with playing
he
both?
may have. I can't remember.
I remember
it's
asking
fine.
them.
It's fine. If it's what Petraeus wants, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, just don't make Zeno do too much is all we ask as fellow
Oh,
playmates at the
okay,
table.
no.
Let's
it's
just,
not
as a
going to-
rule, not ask Vera or Hummel to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Right. No,
on anything.
no.
They
this-
already
no,
do.
this
It's
is
gonna fucking happen. What are you talking
This
about?
was this stemmed from an idea to want to be able to include Hummel in the adventuring aspect of it
Well,
without
Hummel
having
understands
to force.
what we're saying.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're saying, and
But now
let
we
me
can't.
phrase that. Petraeus.
Well, just learn to speak B.
Selfish.
Now we can't. Now we can't watch the unknown dance anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I will miss
That'll-
that.
Oh,
I mean,
no!
nothing's preventing him from dancing just because.
Yeah.
I guess.
But now you
They
know
could
what
do
it
the
means.
interpretive dance.
Yeah, it's not an unknown
Yeah.
dance anymore. It's a much more known dance once that
Yeah.
hat is done.
I feel like Petraeus should have taken the time and the effort to learn B, and then you see Petraeus 7
Yeah!
Oriad
See him
dancing,
just dancing
Hello,
around.
ooh.
Get a
This is
feat
how
to
I say
learn
good morning
insect.
to Hummel.
I put too much milk into this now. You're not telling me this at this point. I'm making
But
a
I'll-
stupid hat.
I'll make sure to add a point though that every time we do a checkpoint, we have a formal apology from Skrewy about having forced Zeno to do this 2 character. So we've had this week's. Next week we'll make sure get that in the notes for next week.
I mean, also, it's not just Hummel's hat; it's also B form Vera hat.
I don't want to hear what beer form Vera's gonna be saying. She's gonna be mean.
I know. Honestly, I'm terrified of that. I
I
am.
don't
like,
want that.
The B
You're
form
taking
has
too
been
long.
our respite from Vera. Has
Right?
been Vera's like cool down time where we can all just kind of. Yes, we know we gotta go, Vera. Okay.
Because
You're
when
B
I'm
now, you're gonna have to deal with it.
because when I'm B form Vera, literally all I have to do is sting people, and that's it. It's so
Right.
easy.
I mean, but really though, like, can you imagine now, Petra, if something happens like in that last session that we'll get to, you know, what happened with the prison and everything later, but
Mhm.
if that talking to you got was from the fucking bee, and there's no escape from it now.
It's just they're just right there, just like constantly.
I
You
mean,
fucking, just
I
lots
should
of, just
say-
strings of squares.
it's from a bee with a top hat, which is important.
So it's classy no matter how much profanity comes out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They need a monocle and a cane to make it.
I am
trendy.
thinking. I've been thinking about a little cane so Hummel can still do
A
his dances.
sword
Oh my
cane for
God.
Hummel. That's
A
what you
sword
need.
cane for the bee. I can use my pixie sword.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
that's a
awesome.
deep cut back to whatever it was, 1x14. 1x14
Yeah, I
still
with the
have
pixie
2 of
sword.
them.
I think it was 13 when
Wait, you still have
Vivek
two of
got
what now?
it.
Toothpick.
I took 3 pixie
Oh,
swords,
that's
fired
right.
one as a bolt, found out it was completely useless, and was like,
Well,
"What
because
the
it's a
fuck do I do with these?"
toothpick.
Yeah.
I mean-
so it would make a perfect sword cane for Hummel.
Are you telling me that you would now want to keep a little like tiny sword?
Yeah, exactly.
That's adorable
It's like,
and wonderful.
Like, I
How
Well,
do
yeah,
you
but
keep
don't
your
use it
flaming
as a
sword?
bolt.
You could put it like in your like burger, like boop.
I thought
Yeah,
it was a
this is
little.
wonderful.
I figured it was a little larger than that. I thought that
Use it as
pixies
a
were like
bouquet of
cat-sized.
flowers,
A
yeah.
sword for a cat-sized creature would be about the size of a bolt. It'd be a little thinner, but I thought it's magical, so that offset it. But then I
No.
find out they're more like rat-sized, so yeah.
I don't know if a bee can wield a toothpick. Pretty sure the size difference is.
I've seen the
enormous.
bee
not with
movie. They
that
can.
attitude.
I also,
Yeah.
I also don't know if a bee can wear a top hat. So
Yeah, this is all.
I
don't
mean,
know,
I
guys.
could scrape
Just-
down the toothpick until it's bee-sized. I
Yeah,
can
there
make
we
it
go.
smaller. I just can't make
That's
it
fine.
bigger.
Just sit
I
there
can see it.
whittling.
Like a
Whittling it.
bee wielding, say, like a needle as a claymore. I could see that.
Okay.
So let's talk about the episode.
Yeah.
Because quite a few things happened in this episode
Mhm.
that took us all by surprise.
Yeah, it was about a 10-scene episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Where shall we begin? Should we just take it
we
chronologically?
should just
Yeah,
do
sure.
chronological.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So scene 1 was Riz and Kurla
Curl on their knees.
at the shrine. At the Fears step.
I
was
did not
interesting.
expect it. I don't think
didn't
any of
Yeah,
us
that
did.
was honestly awesome. I'm so relieved that nobody died.
I thought it was
Today,
coming.
yeah, it was
I was like-
weird.
Both
Yeah.
inside and outside of the party.
There have
I
been a lot
still-
of moments in the last 2 sessions where I've been like, "Oh God, why are we split up?" And that was one where I was like, "Oh no, oh no, oh good."
I mean, we
Oh,
did
wow.
tell Yvette where we were going, so
Yeah, but she was already in bed by that point chronologically or
Yeah.
something. I
Mhm,
mean, as far as
mhm.
we had acted things out.
I was quite concerned that violence was going to ensue coming from the priest. I thought, holy shit, this is going to turn out to be a monk situation, and he's going to be able to kick the shit out of both of us. And I also didn't know what Vera was going to do, if there was going to be murder and death from the rest of the party, or where everything else was going to go. So I kind of wanted to avoid combat happening if we could. If Riz and me, so we're squishy. Bad shit could have gone down in that temple. I didn't know.
I'm not. I'll wait until we get to the atheist part.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, having the temple of people with foresight attacking them probably would have been the worst idea, because they would have been like, "We're ready for that." Pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
You fool! I knew all your moves before you did.
Yeah.
Beardy,
Mm-hmm.
I love you, but I hated that character so much.
Oh,
priest.
right.
Homogenous? Okay.
The
Homogenous.
cryptic.
I
I
hated
saw
them.
you, Screwy. You
Really?
were worse than I was in terms of the.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
Cryptic fucking-
Oh, just because he was a fortune teller,
Oh,
basically.
Just the
Yeah.
fucking.
So why don't you hate Riz?
Yeah, I'm really confused by that, because I was like, I don't know, Riz is pretty abstract in their
Yeah.
talking as well.
You still say things though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Also,
was.
this is another.
But you eventually
this-
get to a point.
I-
You
This
get
is another one of
you
those
you explain it
situations.
for my little fucking
Sure.
boulder
but I
brain.
think this is funny because this is another of those situations where I put in an NPC that is neutral to helpful and has done literally nothing against anyone, and yet I hear people say, I hated that NPC. And it's always surprising to me. It's like, I don't know what this guy did to you. You had literally zero interaction with this guy.
Yep.
But you
No,
hated him.
No. Petra, I would
because
not
he
have
was
any
helpful.
problem with
Shut
that.
up.
Relish it.
I think
Just
it-
relish the random hate. It's great.
Yeah,
I
it's,
mean,
it's so weird to me. It's just like I drink it in and I'm like, okay.
yeah. I mean, you're getting a response from us.
Well, it's the
As
same
a player,
thing
I
as.
was delighted because it was a challenge, but as a character, Kurilla's getting more and more frustrated. I'm sorry, I cut you off there, Xeno. Go
Well,
ahead.
no, I think it's the same thing as Eden. For Skrewy, it's the exact same situation where it's like, this is cryptic bullshit that I can't parse. So, fuck
Yeah.
this character.
I do.
Yeah.
I had thought multiple times during that conversation. I was like, what would Levette be saying if she were there? And she would just been like looking at this guy like, okay, you didn't contribute to the conversation with what you said. It didn't mean anything. Okay, cool.
I mean, everything he said actually had a pretty decent meaning.
I mean,
yeah,
it-
no, there-
but
there
it was
was a-
all kind of redundant of what other people had said.
Right.
See-
He's trying to get you to see things in different lights. That's
Right.
all.
Agreed. And what he
And he
said,
also-
no,
He's
Go ahead.
very, very strict on what he can and cannot tell you guys, and he's walking a very fine line.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully,
Okay.
we didn't get him in trouble. I know, Riz, you were
yeah.
concerned about him going the way of Shade.
I still feel really bad about Shade. I'm
I
gonna
would
keep
say
feeling-
that his final answer on the tip or the clue was it's gonna pay off.
What was his? What was that? I don't remember what he said. That
I know there's
The-
one
you-
that was...
they have the spark. They
Yeah,
have
the
the
traveler
they
has
have
a
the
spark.
means in their means to do what the clue said.
I see.
And it's going. That clue is going to make sense at some point.
I think it's a lot. A lot of this makes sense to me. I don't want to say anything until the conversation comes up in character, so you can hear Levette's thoughts from Levette. But I mean, she doesn't know about any of this shit right now. That's the thing, right? She doesn't even know about the dreams. So like, I can't really have an in-character opinion yet. But I'm saving a lot of my thoughts about the actual riddles here for.
I'm
see
so
if-
bad at riddles. God damn it,
Well, okay,
Beardy.
well-
No,
were
this
you-
isn't a riddle. No, this is not. This is.
This
I,
is
that's,
a
I think it
this
is.
This is not a
It's-
riddle.
This is a riddle.
This is a riddle.
I don't. Okay.
It's
So,
not a
Keni,
literal demand. It's a riddle.
Having been waiting for the fact that Thess wasn't on your Vardo to come up, and so having been waiting to have an interaction like this and have more light shed on the dreams and that question of what it means to need to be able to buy the wind, or I'm not saying it in quite the right
Enough gold to buy the wind.
enough gold to buy the wind. Were you satisfied with the progress that was made? Obviously, we don't
No.
have clear answers, but we have a kind of a clearer idea. We know it's figurative now
I'm
versus
not
literal amount
satisfied
of gold.
whatsoever.
No,
No.
would you?
Because
have
he
liked-
just said the same thing. I've been hearing the same fucking hint every single time someone gives it to me. And I'm like, this doesn't change the information I've been given.
Well, what we know is that the terminology is more important than you thought. The fact that it
Yeah.
says gold is more important. I don't know if that's related to the spark, if the gold is the spark. Because at first I thought it was like, oh, the wind doesn't cost anything, so you have to get rid of all your money. Don't know.
I don't know.
See,
but that
that's
seems
the thing.
too spot on now.
It's not. To me, it's not a riddle. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for something.
Isn't a
And a
But what if
metaphor
it's
is not a
not?
riddle.
But what if it is just a riddle?
A riddle
Beardy's
as
already
is
said
a
it's a
Beardy
riddle.
literally said it was a riddle, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Riddle me
Yeah,
this,
like,
Batman.
Word
That's
of
why I'm
God.
saying what if, because I'm like, I don't understand what this to me means. Like, it is. It's a we've been told from the god of this world himself that
That's
it is in
okay.
fact a
Yeah,
riddle.
fair enough.
You're not even good to listening to the god that actually talks.
You're like,
Is that my new title? The God Who Talks?
The god who
The
talks.
God who
It's like-
talks.
it's like
I am the
that's-
god
that's a-
who talks.
It's like the Batman who laughs, but
Yeah, exactly.
The God who talks only so much.
dude, that's
I
a,
think
badass
there's-
that's a
title, I don't
bomb ass
know.
name.
That's a fucking
Can we,
rad
can we
name.
change
Beardy's name
Beardy's
to the
name?
god who talks.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's update my label here.
That's
There you go,
goddamn
yeah.
amazing.
But I feel like
God
there
who
was
talks.
progress made because we have a better idea now that it is figurative, that you have what you need already, that it's not a question that you need to collect it more, and now you've got at least one other party member who is kind of more aware of what's happening, like to back you up and help you sort this one out. So
Oh, wow.
Whoa,
That's,
whoa.
what is up there?
The
Okay.
God. So
So-
Kenny's the, Foley's the. Oh, it's fancy now.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
so that's something to be satisfied with, I would think.
There you go,
There you go.
Beardy.
Thanks.
Put it on their shirt like a little name
Oh.
tag.
Oh, no, his actual name tag's on his shirt, pretty much.
Oh,
Let's
there you
see.
go.
It's there? Is
Yeah.
that right? Am I getting that?
Yeah.
It was kind of fun surprising you all. I'll say that much. I
That was
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Like a small heart attack over here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was gonna go down.
I mean, I was excited, whatever it was.
I thought for certain that you were just gonna start going on a killing spree.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know if I could actually face Kurla in this situation. Like, Riz doesn't want to hurt Kurla, so
Well,
it
yeah,
would be
Gerla
really.
doesn't want to hurt Riz.
Shut the fuck up, Zeno. Shut
And
up.
then as they die, as those priests die, they go, "I knew you'd do that."
Yeah,
Just
Right.
Probably.
Why didn't you fucking stop me
So-
then, you little bastard, you cryptic little shit?
So here's my question: do the monks and priests here get paid additional like wages for opening the door before someone grabs it? Is that like in their contract?
It's just easy for them to do.
It's a cute trick.
I just
cute
assume
trick.
that they have someone always right at the door,
just
like,
looking at the people.
yeah, but you got it.
Go now! Nah! Ah, got it! Ah, ah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Ah, hello.
I'm such an old man.
Nobody
Man,
gets to see.
working there must be a fucking nightmare. Can you imagine your boss like takes you in and is like, "All right, we need to talk about what happened next Saturday."
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking do it.
Nice. Nicely done.
Speaking of HR, it's all pre-crime.
The crypticness of the discussion aside, I really enjoyed that scene. I
Yeah, me too.
enjoyed getting the little bits of tidbits that we did, and I enjoyed just getting to interact back and forth with Riz and Keni.
How
And I
did
think
you?
it was
My bad. You go, Beardy.
No, you're fine. I just said I felt it was a really great scene for growth for Kurla. Like that was Kurla taking a step of like humility that I had not expected to see yet. So that was really surprising and really cool. So
It's
it's great
been
to see a lot of growth there.
Thank you. It's been building towards it. It couldn't have happened any sooner than it had, or than it did, I think. After all the shit that went down in Mythelion and all the fallout from that and the stuff with Mellifera,
And the stuff in your hometown too.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that was honestly like perfect timing. It made it felt like it built up just the right amount to me.
And I hadn't planned it. It was when you said humility that that the god valued humility. It was like, oh, okay, maybe I can do something with that. So I like that it was spontaneous and that it worked. If it had been spontaneous and it had completely backfired, I would have felt really shitty about it.
Yeah, that would have been
But
super
it's-
awkward.
Then I start
Yeah,
sniping.
Fuck out of here.
But still, as a relatively new player, it's kind of it's it's intimidating taking those kinds of risks. So it means a lot to me when they pay off, and that empowers me as a player. It gets me even more excited about the game. So thank you for making me feel comfortable and confident enough to do that. Because yay,
that's my job.
Shit's intimidating being a not terribly new player.
It doesn't go away.
Not
I don't
really.
think
no.
it goes
Right, I'm
away.
done then. Bye.
Improv is improv. You just
Mhm.
hope there's a yes and at the end, maybe. Hopefully.
Mhm.
Oh God, I hope I don't die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is improv plus dice
Plus dice. Plus math. Ugh.
and death. Yeah.
Death.
I can't believe I knelt to a Beardy though.
Well,
Oh,
how did you feel about Riz saying you should kneel to no one?
that was nice.
It
That-
brought-
especially coming from Riz, since Riz has a really interesting relationship with the gods, like as buddy pals instead of like people that they worship per se. It's that was fascinating and sweet. It's like, oh, Riz means I'm as much to Riz as Riz does to me.
It's also a like direct kind of parallel to exactly what Vera has said to people.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like, literally, she has said the
Oh,
exact
That's
line.
interesting.
Oh
I-
yeah, that is exactly what came to my mind. Was
I
that
didn't
was
even
like a
think
Mellifera
about
thing.
it.
Mhm.
So
Maybe you guys have
Mellifera
more in common than you think.
Yeah. And
Mellifera's
it turns
been
out
rubbing
that
off on Riz,
Yeah.
even though Riz doesn't
everyone's-
go in for the. Sorry, go.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
Mhm.
stepping on your toes.
What
No,
were you gonna say?
it's fascinating to me that Mellifera might be rubbing off on Riz, despite the fact that Riz doesn't subscribe to the elder deities. But what were you going to say, Beardy?
Oh, I was just saying that everyone's slowly becoming Vera, and it's amazing.
We're all gonna just be a group of people going.
It's like why are things always evolving into crabs? Why are characters always turning into Vera?
Yeah.
Wow. Still haven't eaten the honey, so we
Return
have
to
that.
gnome or evolve to bee.
Yeah. Your only option.
But I mean, that was one kind of fun, interesting conversation in the whole episode. But followed up with that, we had heavy, followed by even heavier.
Yeah.
Because of the conversation between Levette and Moira that followed short on its heels.
Yeah. Are you okay, Grem?
Seriously,
I-
you were right.
Yeah.
I did the thing that Levette did of the not sleep, but unintentionally for the same reasons after the game, of being like, I was like 2 a.m. my time or something, I decided I'll go to bed. Didn't get to sleep. I don't know how long I did. I stopped paying attention to time, but I was just like, lots to think about. I mean, this was, like I had mentioned, this was a thing I kind of anticipated on some level. I wasn't 100% on it because I think this isn't one of the episodes we have yet to upload, but I had asked before I built Mark II, because Levette was on the fence about even doing that. She asked the Moira II if basically if she was glad that she's alive, if she's glad that she's built, and she said yeah, emphatically. So there was a bit of a shock. It was like, oh, cool, that's going away.
Well, I was surprised because I didn't realize that Moira knew that she was a construct.
Yeah, they do know that construct. Well, they know
Okay.
that as far as the spell is worded, they know that you're their creator. Which, I mean, if they're reasonably intelligent, they can figure that out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
So
Go-
what were your
Marcus.
goals in that Beardy? Had
I'm
that
sorry,
been, what were your goals in that as Moira? Had that been brewing for a while? What
Yeah,
what
that
was
had
the
been brewing for a
motivation?
while. Yeah, so the idea for that sequence of events was that I wanted Moira, after having journeyed with you guys for a little bit of time, after spending a couple, maybe like a month with the party, various stages, seeing you guys do things, being around you, drawing, talking, whatever, just being in the company of people, coming to kind of a realization that they are fundamentally different than all of you, and they can't quite figure out why. And then, kind of putting two and two together and being like, oh, it's because I'm not real in the way that they are. And then kind of eventually like coming off of Muse and sort of just feeling a little bit wonky, kind of just asking Levette like, hey, why do I exist?
Which was really weird. It was awkward because like I was very tempted to just be like, no reason. Why does anyone exist? And I was like, but that's not really true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So instead,
is-
you told Moira the truth,
Which was, I mean, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I mean, I don't know. Some of this stuff will probably come up in character, so I don't want to speak too much on it with a lot of my thoughts. But it's like, I don't know. The question is really what to do forward from here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The first step is obvious, which is have that talk with Kurla.
Yeah.
But I have some ideas for a solution that might work out for everyone, or at least relatively.
Sorry, having which talk with Kurla?
Kurla's been been like, we need to talk about Moira a lot.
I've been side-eyeing you about Moira. I don't know if I wanted to bring it up again. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I will look forward to that conversation. There will be abruptness.
Yeah.
I haven't made a secret of the fact that Kurla doesn't approve of what you've done with Moira and Mark II, certainly. So.
Yeah.
But is that gonna? I'm curious to know if that's gonna be a what should I do about this versus a this is because of you. You've made Moira feel this way because you've been so nasty towards her. I'm curious to know how Levette's going to approach it. It's going to be interesting. Had that occurred to you, or was that?
It's not really Levette's mindset. She's not very spiteful. She kind of got all the spite out of her when she murdered her rivals.
And burned down.
You mean when you tricked the rest of the party to kill your rivals with you?
That was part of it too. That also burnt the spite out of her. Yes. I mean, I guess there was still a little bit of spite left, and Petra got the receiving end of that.
Yeah. Sorry.
I do just want to call out your answer to Moira's question, just so we all hear it again.
What?
And that was that Moira's purpose was to keep Levette sane.
I know.
I don't know if you guys saw my face when that happened, but I was like,
yeah.
Well, look, what the fuck would you say? What the like?
I
wouldn't say that.
I would say to pass butter.
There's no good answer.
What's everyone else's response to that?
To pass butter.
Yeah,
honest,
the butter.
and it's horrifying. It's honest and it's horrifying, and I think that's one of the reasons Kurla absolutely doesn't approve of what Levette has done.
well, I mean, it's coming into contrast of every time Moira's ever said, whatever you say, because she's still a construct and has to listen to Levette law.
Levette law?
Levette law. So, it's just sad, but I don't think I would have said that.
What would you have said? I didn't think I would have said that either, but I had a limited amount of time to respond.
I would have probably said something along the lines of like what you were thinking with the why does anyone exist? But
yeah.
I think I might have just said.
Well, I thought about that really hard, and I was like, I don't want to lie to her. She doesn't deserve to be lied to.
I think if Vera were to say it, Vera would say to be yourself. Like that's why you exist.
Yeah, which is probably also a true answer, and probably would have been better. But
I couldn't stand to live in a world without you in it.
Yeah, something like that. But I was just too hardly confronted by the fact, like she was too aware of the fact that, yeah, I did create this person for a purpose.
Also, she was very intoxicated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, maybe that will work out for me.
What, that she'll wake up sober and won't remember her existential crisis, and we'll just go back to obeying?
I mean, she didn't seem to have.
I mean, she'll obey Levette no matter what.
Look,
Exactly.
honestly, that would be okay. Look, that's because then I can answer it again better later.
I cannot self-terminate.
I have a mechanical question then. So, do you think that Moira, and this is a question to everybody. So, do you think that Moira's concerns are valid, and that she can't really like grow old or change or grow in any meaningful way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the concerns are valid. I think they're wrong because Mark II wants to grow and change, and
Yeah.
I know
Mark II was given
limited in that.
levels.
I was wondering about that, how you felt. I was curious Skrewy's thoughts, since you kind of were given control of Mark II when he's been on screen, and he's like, so you kind of have a shared perspective with this NPC, and I was curious to how you, like, as a player, were like if you were looking at that thinking I should implement that into Mark II, or he would disagree with it, or what.
I know giving him a bit of autonomy. in this is important, and the fact that he has the ability, potential, not to level up, but to expand his beyond what he was created for, is, at least in his mind, he knows he's there to be the father.
Sure, but mechanically speaking, he can't ever gain a skill point.
Exactly.
Ever, right?
But he can.
He can't, and that means, like, in universe, he can't ever learn a new skill.
Oh.
Right? Like, he cannot change beyond how he was created. So, like, if he goes to learn, like, he can't learn a new language, right? He can't do these things. They're locked.
Okay.
You
So
understand? Like, he is as
he would
was
try.
built.
See,
He would try, but he couldn't.
He would
Mhm.
try, but that's the thing. It's the he would try and he would fail. He'd try something new. He would fail, and then he'd get into, okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm good at.
Oh,
I'm going to be the best
that's
at
very
who I am and what I'm good
optimistic.
at.
But he's never
The-
going to get any better at it, though.
There
You
is
know,
a
even the stuff that he's already good at, he'll never improve in.
Right.
I guess it comes down to personality, whether or not you
Yeah.
can be content
mean-
in that, or whether it would just drive you into spiraling
Having
depression.
a static existence like that.
I think he would be content for a long while, so long
'Cause he-
as
I mean,
so long as Telly
Mhm.
and
Garbin.
Garvin were
Yeah.
happy.
I just see a
So-
Tuck
Yeah.
Everlasting
Right. I was
situation
going to say
happening.
what happens in
What
10
happens when they
Miles,
die?
fucking
What happens
Miles.
in-
Hmm.
What happens in 10 years when you look exactly the same and everyone else is 10 years older?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And your
That
wife and
is
kid live you because they
a-
think you're like cursed or some shit.
And your wife is like, "What the fuck are you?"
And there is a
He would
distinction
probably
as
at
well.
some point he would probably at some point realize that everybody's moving on. I am not helpful anymore. He would try to go off and not he would
You think he'd
At
go
least-
off an adventure?
he would go off on an adventure knowing he'd probably die.
That's-
So
Just the final
suicide
sunset.
by
Wow.
quest.
Suicide by adventuring.
By side
I
quest.
mean, okay. First of all,
He would
we
try
did
to
do
do
that
good.
once already, so it's not like we think it's. I believe you'll commit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do admit that he's got the advantage over Moira of if he can't improve in anything, if he's raising a child, then he can kind of get the catharsis of them developing and kind of
Mhm.
growing through them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is something as well, I think, in the distinction between Mark II having been designed to take care, in a sense, of others, of Telly and the child, because I can't remember the name,
The child.
versus Moira having
Garbin.
been created to take care of her creator. There is, I find the former kind of more palatable than the latter,
Mhm.
even though I think both are kind of doomed to very bad outcomes. This certainly doesn't,
Bullseye.
I think, bode well for Moira's mental health, because the self-awareness of this impossible situation that they're in and there being no way out. I
Oof, that
the-
is
the-
completely different.
The substance
Yeah,
abuse is a bad sign, and the start, it's going to get worse from here, as far as I can kind of tell, which is going to be really interesting from a thematic and storytelling perspective, but it's going to be rough as shit for Moira and for you, for you,
Hey,
Graham.
Moira
think
will
I have
never
a
abandon
solution.
Levette. Period.
Yeah, and I think that might actually be my answer, but I don't want to say too much. I have a solution, I think, that I think could work out for everyone except for Levette, ultimately. I mean, it'd be the best option for her, it just wouldn't feel good.
Mechanically, sorry.
But it could make everything a lot worse if Beardy decides to. So I'm really
boy.
scared.
Mechanically
Oh, I'm excited.
speaking, is it possible to give what Moira is the freedom to obey the dictates of her own consciousness and conscience to
No,
the extent
it's
that exists
fucking not.
versus
So, you
having
mean
to obey? There's
self-determination?
Exactly.
So-
There is no way to give her self-determination.
It's ironic. There is
Yeah.
a lower level version of the spell that makes it so they can't. They automatically have that, and they automatically don't with the one I have. The thing is, summoners don't get that. Summoners only get the one where you don't, where they're completely obedient. Because in an average D&D campaign, that's not a fucking problem. That is completely good.
Right. That is a feature, not a bug.
Right.
And to Grem's credit, when Levette made Moira, Levette sort of tried that, right? Kind of tried to read that in.
I tried to like
bylaws.
instruct her to follow her own will, and her own will was to just stick with Levette.
Right, but even that was just sort of reflexively going back to Levette anyway. So there was really no hope for any kind of independence in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, are you both, how comfortable are you both feeling exploring this? Because this is going to get into some very potentially dark areas.
100% comfortable.
As far as the dark areas, I'm fine with it. And then, like, I've got more fucking shit to deal with, I guess, which is fun. But Levette, like, she's never gonna have a conclusion without dealing with this.
It sounds like Levette's going to have to team up with some necromancers to do some experimental soul exchanging and fusing into Moira.
Why don't you ask Hildy for help? That
a
went
lot
past
more
us.
optimistic of a solution than what I thought of. I kind of like that.
Just take someone's soul essence, take away their consciousness from it, put it into Moira. I don't know how many years it will take.
It's like raising a baby. Oh my god.
Goodness. So we've got some exciting territory to get into at least.
Yeah.
Some thematically rich territory, and you're both up for the challenge. And cool.
I mean, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Honestly, this is one of my favorite parts about playing Levette is these abstract questions that get posed. Like having in the midst of this medieval fantasy world, having a character whose like whole thematics are about questioning the nature of intelligence and existence and artificial intelligence and stuff is just kind of wild, and I've been enjoying every step of it.
You go too far, you play God.
Me, I play gods.
I become God, the destroyer of worlds.
Become as gods.
Did I beseech thee, maker, from the clay to mold me man?
So that'll take us to scene 3 of the session, which was Vera and Petra over in the dancing bowl.
That went a lot better than I expected. First of all, for getting information.
Yes,
because I actually did a good diplomacy with Vera, so that was nice.
How did that feel?
That was very nice because it's much better than a 3.
Heck yeah!
But I wasn't expecting Vera to ever completely kill APS, because no matter what, Vera was going to check with Dursalos. Dursalos, right?
Yeah, Dursalos the traitor, yes.
And see what he thought, and then he would have been like, no, we're not ready for that. So
he's more of a people person than most of the Proteans, so
yeah,
whoops.
Because after that, and this might come up later, Vera would ask Dursalos, well, what if we cause some trouble in Protus to get some of them out of there? Which I feel would be better for the Resistance. If you cause trouble there, they're going to take out the resources from Kodra.
Right. Yeah, they're going to pull big, border garrisons first.
Jesus, are we going to start a war in Proto?
I'm wondering.
I kind of want to. Part of me wants to.
Definitely move in that direction.
I don't know if I can ask enough of Bella for that, because
I mean, the
Protean Empire's already kind of all over that shit.
Think of the points you'd score with that god who wanted you to kill lots of people there.
Yeah,
Terrace would be really happy.
Yeah,
be like,
that you could
bodies!
stack up on your Terrace points.
Let the bodies in.
Get them out of the way.
Yeah, build your Terrace faction up really high. Yeah.
So Zeno, you ended up not killing the governor, obviously,
Yes.
and then the governor ended up dead anyway. Beardy, what are you? You had planned for the governor to die like long before this. What were your thoughts last week when Zeno and Vera made clear that they were considering this? How did that factor into your thinking and your planning for this storyline, knowing that you were getting set to kill the governor?
I guess my question for you is, are you sure Vera didn't do it?
Okay, first of all, when we got there, I was slightly sad that it didn't look like a scythe did it, or like there was insects on it, because I was hoping that it would be like, whoa,
Maybe
was there
Vera
a
did
session
die.
that we missed?
The answer is yes.
Assuming,
I'm
no,
very
assuming
sure.
that Vera
I
didn't
am.
do it.
But in
Petra is
all-
100% certain that they didn't do it, because they wouldn't have I mean, they would have had to been there a week. Well, I guess we wouldn't have known that by that point. Yet we didn't know
What
about the gold. We didn't know about all the other purchasing the thing, and so. By that point, no. Petra was just going purely off of, no, Vera wouldn't do that.
I'm glad you have so much faith in this person after ruining their faith in you.
Ooh, we'll get into that.
We will.
There's a lot of misplaced faith. But yeah, to be honest though, I had already written out that event a while beforehand. Like that was supposed to be what happens in Acomius. You guys get there, you meet with Dursalos, you get a plan to travel west. He takes your wagons to fix them, and then overnight, all hell breaks loose because the governor's murdered, and the city gets locked down, and there's a crackdown, and it's this whole mess. That was kind of the whole story of Acomius, is how you get into it and how you get out of it. So hearing you guys talk about like, oh, we better kill the governor, ahead of that, I was thinking, well, the first thought is, oh, damn, they're going to think that I'm taking their ideas when I do kill this guy next session.
I did think that.
That's the immediate thought I had. And then the second thought I had was, I wonder if there's some way I can implicate them and frame them for his death.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't have made too much sense, and it would have been too convenient for me.
Yeah.
So it just pretty much just ended up being, okay, I'll have to roll with it and just let them think that they had a good guess. So, which
However,
they did. Y'all guessed it.
Because all that happened, though, Vera changed her identity, and that helped us get paperwork.
That's true.
It did,
Yeah.
And that was
That was a really good idea.
That was a really good idea.
Brilliant idea.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Especially since our Villish letter didn't
Yeah,
hold
there's-
any
No.
water with the proteins in Kodrak.
Just throw it back at you. Fuck off with this
We tried.
chicken scratch.
Well, because they were also like, oh, why are you in Ville? It's like, to make money. Why not?
Yeah?
And they're like, oh, that makes sense.
I really thought that was good.
So we'll get back to the murder mystery in just a moment, but as shit was breaking loose overnight, Riz had another interesting scene.
Yeah.
with the- I think I'm getting the chronology correct there. It was just as shit was breaking.
Yeah, we
loose
had
outside.
dinner right after
Yeah.
everyone came back together, and then
Yeah, so there was a
I
dinner.
invited you into my room
Yeah.
to talk to a god with me.
Right before that, Petra had fixed the... or paid to fix
Oh,
the
the
library.
library, that's true.
And also found out more information on the Pentra system.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yes,
bunch of fucking
yeah.
names.
Let's talk about that then. Very good point. Let's talk about the Pentress estate names, and then we can launch into Riz's.
Apostrophe.
Yeah, they're full of apostrophes.
I know what that means. I'm so excited
okay.
and worried.
So Petra
Let's-
went to the library,
Yes.
met with Detlev as he was locking up shop for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, because of the nice relations that they had earlier, he invited him in and had a conversation.
Relations with Detlev?
Yeah,
Hi.
and then
Yeah, why not?
ended up getting a huge donation to fix the roof, which was really generous.
Especially because Petravian's almost always broke, so I can
Mhm.
I now realize why this is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
I actually was, when he said 250, I was like, does Petra have that much?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I was like,
Where'd
are you
you
gonna
steal
still
that
be able
from?
to pay for the other thing you want Levette to make after that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I'll still have
like-
money left over.
I like that Petraeus was broke for a predominant amount of time during like the previous episodes and that. And now that Petraeus has money, we're still in the same mindset that he has no money.
I just
ever.
assume he's gonna spend it all really fast, so I'm just gonna
Mhm.
it's just gonna go back to being no money again, and then we're gonna hear about how he doesn't have money again.
That's what money's for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but I don't want to
fantastic.
hear about your money problems if it's your own
What,
fault.
you want? Do you want Petra to put like buy some stocks or something?
I am.
Stonks.
Well, I don't think you understand. Every gold piece is almost all stored up for Riz. I've spent
Yeah.
But
nothing.
what
Yeah,
does that mean?
what?
Worked
You're
really
gonna have all that
beautifully,
gold.
though.
Yeah, and how
of
much
all
gold
the-
do you need to buy the win?
I don't know.
You already have it in some way.
I still think you need to get rid of all your gold.
No.
That's
Make
And that's-
new
that's the-
friends
that's the
and
humbling
keep
part.
The old one
But-
is silver and the other.
The
Thank you.
problem is though, I don't know what the spark is, and that's
I-
supposed to be super important. So.
I think it's my horse.
Okay, kill
Of
the
all
horse.
the
No.
no killing the horse. Of all the characters, Petraeus though was probably the only one who would have made that gesture towards Detlev. So
Yeah,
that was kind of
that's
sweet.
Yeah, that was really nice. So
Yeah.
in
Without-
return for that, Yeah, Detlev's like, hey, let me help you with your research, and boom.
Got
The
information.
States information you needed.
So, Zeno, I kind of asked you this question last week, but I want to ask you again. How are you feeling having suddenly backstory stuff for Vera is coming out relatively quickly now after
What,
a
a
season
backstory?
and a third of nothing?
I don't know what you're talking about. Vera doesn't have a backstory.
No, none. Okay.
Of course not.
Seriously, though, how
ridiculous.
is that for you?
It's fun. I am enjoying just seeing people gather the clues and the bits and pieces, because there's a healthy bit of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Skrewy, you have all the pieces. Well,
I
no, you
have the
some of them.
pieces. I have some of the pieces. I need to figure out.
Yeah.
Need to figure out where the Petraeus estate. Essentially, where are these different families? Are they in one spot, or are they all over the place? What is their thing? Why did the Petraeus estate, I'm guessing, put a red hot gauntlet on Vera's left shoulder? And so,
Probably
what
just
are
a
all?
smithing accident.
Of course, yes. It's
Vicious
nothing.
irony, that.
Ah!
Fantastic.
Well,
Sure.
we-
She's just
Scarred her for
Making-
life.
they're like,
And
hey
is
kid,
it a
take this home. Just toss it over your
Uh,
shoulder. Oh yeah, fine. We'll get off. Oh, it's
I'm
sinking
gonna-
in. It's stuck.
Hazing.
I'm gonna
It's a thing.
I'm gonna throw out an idea that the Petraeus estate was involved in the slave trade, and Vera's family or something was somehow enslaved, and the lure of everybody being equal, no caste systems, but enticed Vera. They rose up. Petraeus estate goes fuck off, and Vera runs with the scythe. That's the.
I have a theory.
Well, you got all three clues, so we have to sit in our thinking chair. We got
All right.
the Petraeus estate,
thing.
Apostrophes.
apostrophes,
Apostrophes.
and scars.
And scars.
Oh my god, you hit the mic.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I have
Kenny,
a
what's
theory.
Yeah, I'm
I-
curious. I'm very curious how this is gonna turn out.
I'm trying my best. I
Together.
don't think Riz would talk about this because they're not really interested in getting in Vera's business to begin with, so I don't think they'd ever really come into conversation with this as much. Out of all the characters, I feel like Riz and Vera are the farthest away in relationship. Like, it's like, there's the mutual respect, but we're just kind of business partners at this point. But,
Business.
so Vera's a half-elf, right? We just found out that this estate has a bunch of fucking apostrophes in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably Elven.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Vera don't like elves.
Yeah, so what if one of these estates is one of Vera's parents?
Oh.
Now, we
That's-
also know that half elves don't, I beg your pardon, wood elves in particular don't like other high elves. We
Well,
also, I
high
guess,
elves
know
are
that
hoity-toity too. So, but Vera doesn't like
but they're
high elves specifically. It's not wood elves because Redubi's a
Okay.
wood elf.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
And Vera would be half high elf.
Half. Okay, my bad.
And my guess is a half high elf would be really, really looked down upon.
It just
Might
it
well.
depends
That's
on
your
like
guess?
the family and stuff. I think.
I mean, it depends on your social standing. A lot of places don't really give a shit.
Gnomes don't like it.
There's a lot less racism in the world than you guys pretend there is.
Then you guys make into your backstories.
Hey,
Yeah.
it wasn't
You guys write
corrected.
A lot of racism into your backstories, and I'm just reading them. I'm like, it's really not that bad.
I checked, and you said, "Yep, that's good."
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it works.
yeah,
it works for
hey.
your situation.
if you say this is where this species lives, then I go, I guess the not being that would be weird, right?
Kenny, did you have more on?
Your theory?
No,
Your
it's
theory?
it's more like I have a theory that it involves Vera's parentage more than we know. It's just a gut feeling though, because Vera doesn't talk about family and evidently does not believe in family, at least as far as she's talked about. She's like, oh fuck blood, hate that shit. Get it out of here.
That's a pretty good game, though.
Get that
Family
shit outta
family's
here.
the thing you make.
Okay.
bitch.
And that
Fuck your
Sounds like it could
relations.
tie in with,
Yeah, and
with what you're
make
talking about,
them more
Skrewy,
and
with
more.
your theories that family is in some way connected with the Petraeus estates. We're just not
Also-
sure where they come in family-wise with Vera.
Mhm.
Graham, what were you saying?
Well, I was just gonna. This isn't. I'm totally not throwing in a hint, nudge, nudge here or anything. Riz may not be terribly interested in Vera's backstory. Levette might be pretty interested in knowing these things. Levette is totally willing to get
You were
nosy
just
with this
given the
person.
soul information.
Levette is totally willing to get nosy with this person who she's known for years and knows nothing about.
You knew about Bahrain, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one thing
which
Levette
felt like
had.
privileged information. Now we met the fucker and was like,
Now you have
I know
nothing.
nothing. Yeah.
Back
I
to
kind
square
of love
one.
that I've got insights, well, Curler's got insights that A, no one else knows that Curler has, and B, that Curler would never share even if you did, so...
Yeah, Curla's this season's live out with getting people's backstories, though. It's
you know
fun.
Well, it's,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's no
'cause
one's
when
business.
when you find out privileged information about someone else's backstory, you never divulge it to anyone.
Ever.
Ever.
Apparently.
Unless you're being offered godly powers in the underworld. Oh dear, Beardy. Oh no. We're touching a sore topic.
No,
Sorry,
it's
Beardy.
true. You don't.
You don't, yeah.
Curler still appreciates
not
that.
without the person's consent.
Curler still very much appreciates
But you
that.
didn't even ask
Mhm.
Curla.
That's true.
Well, the Curla didn't. I didn't have a chance to. I mean, I guess I did kind of have a chance to, but like,
Multiple times.
Anything of
Yeah.
what
You
was
didn't
going
tell
on is
the group
thing.
anything.
If we had known the
Really?
stakes, we might.
I'm trying to
Curler
remember
might
the
have
order of
said-
events. Then
Oh.
I'm trying to remember.
We were like,
Did she
what-
ask me how to? Yeah, I guess she
We're-
did. Then
we're-
she'd have to have.
We were like, what happened? And she's like, nothing happened.
Don't worry about it. That's like,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right. I guess we're not in this episode.
Cool.
We're relitigating episode whatever it was, though, 22 or 21. And
Yeah, I
we're
know.
here to talk about 26. So,
That's
any
true.
any other thoughts about the Petraeus estates?
We're fucked.
Okay. I'm very pleased that I was able to sort of bluff about learning something.
I don't know
Vera?
if Vera believes you ever half the time, or is
Oh
just
no,
like,
Vera
I don't
trusted.
think they care.
Vera trusted Petraeus because Petraeus their brother.
oh, I hope
Trust
they
it.
never
Why would
find out
they
you
even-
lied.
Why would they even like think to sense motive that? Petraeus wouldn't lie about that.
Shit. Screwy gets to
Oh,
live with
I thought.
guilt.
Hey, I didn't lie. I did not lie.
Lying by
You-
omission is still a lie.
Yeah.
I was about to say live
Well,
emission
that,
is in fact.
that
a
was
term.
Soul most of first season, so I'm like, no, everyone gave me crap for that. Fuck you.
Right. I do have a question actually though, and that is so last checkpoint, I had divulged why Vera didn't tell Petraeus or Levette about what happened like in their past, and because of like how
Caring.
they cared about them and they didn't want to lose them. For Skrewy, are you going to dismiss that and continue playing Petraeus the way he was in that last session, where he was actively upset that Vera still has not told him anything?
Yeah.
That Vera hasn't told.
Yeah, because
Okay.
because
But
when we, were,
Petraeus was upset.
when we were in the
Yeah.
village, you were straight up pissed off that Vera has not
Told
told.
Curla, not you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Even though that's a
Just
sign that
Well, that's
wouldn't
Vera
tell
prefers you to Curler and is closer to you.
But you
Right.
wait. But the thing is, would
what we're
Petra
saying is,
have-
Skrewy
so-
has knowledge now about Vera's motives that Petra doesn't. Are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Are you concerned that's going to affect your in-character?
Oh no,
actions?
no. Petra is. He doesn't know that Vera doesn't want to lose them
Yeah.
because he hasn't been told as such.
But he also knows that Vera wouldn't tell him anything directly to his face when Bahrain and all of you were at lunch.
Oh,
And yet, Petra's still digging.
no, Lily, my
Pe-
question. Lily, my question is just: is the meta knowledge going to interfere? Like the fact that you now know why, is that going to change
No.
the fact that Petraeus is super like upset and pissed off that Vera hasn't
No,
told him
he's-
anything? Okay.
No, and that
Oh.
it's no that trust me, he is he wants to find out about Veras Past, and he's kind of dead set on it. Whether Vera tells him or he finds out himself, he would really like to find out. Now, if Vera, because he truly believes that if he could find out about Vera's pre-Maleferan times, he could understand them better and be closer to them.
Whereas Vera, on the flip side, considers the closeness, the reason to...
a danger.
Considers the closeness to preclude ever opening up to you about that for fear of losing you. So that's a really interesting...
Do you think
that has been set up as an interesting dichotomy? Go ahead, Zeno.
Do you think... Who would it be that you'd go to learn someone's information? Would it be Thess? Someone's history?
Petra would probably not approach the deities. He would find out as much as he can through research, through asking around, and then once he got all his ducks in a row, then go to Melly.
Here's what you do. You pray to Eden. Eden will literally send you ducks in a row, and there will be all the answers that you need.
You broke
Apparently
Skrewy.
that killed Skrewy.
You did it.
All right. Well, apparently we're done with that particular part of the episode.
The answer, as far as I would see
God
it, is
God damn it, Emmy!
if you want to get like a
bless, and I love that. That's. Hey Mel, hey Eden, I'm looking to get my ducks in a row. Oh, I got you, fam. I got you, ducks.
Beardy, if you send ducks in the next episode, I will love you forever. But you had a comment. What's up?
I was just saying that if you want to get like secret information and you want to ask the gods and you want to know who to contact for that, that'd be Cloak.
Yeah.
Gotta secrets.
That makes sense.
You just have to offer them something worthy in exchange.
Yeah.
So secrets.
Usually,
Offer
yeah.
a secret in exchange?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fuck.
that's what that god values. Yeah.
I'm all fucking out of those.
So if you can give Cloak a secret, Cloak can give you one back.
You're going to give Cloak expired secrets?
What choice do I have? I'm walking around with my robot girlfriend. I literally tell people, this is my robot girlfriend. I made her.
Yeah.
Like,
Sounds like you better do something secretive then.
Yeah, apparently.
I don't think Petra has any more secrets. I don't think he does.
I think you
I mean,
we found out you were supposed to be dead.
yeah,
That's true.
You fucking told me, like, you had some secrets.
Mm-hmm.
The secret
gone
of
now.
into flogging is now out there as well.
Yeah.
So.
I like feet.
Oh my god.
Wow.
What the hell we walk around?
Speaking of secrets and talking to deities, we had the other scene with Riz.
Mm-hmm.
Keni.
Yeah. Sorry, I was still thinking about Cloak. So I got to speak with Voluna, so I got to put another god on the docket for people we've talked to throughout season 2. Gonna have all of them by the end of the season is the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Catch them all.
Gotta get your bingo card.
Go talk to Owen.
I need
He's
to make
dead, probably.
I need to make special voices for these guys, so that's on me. I need to make special voice filters for each god.
But you definitely bring out their personalities even without the voice filters.
Sure,
Oh my
sure, but
God.
I feel like
I
gods
would-
should have more of a oomph. when they talk.
Me as Keni, I was like, damn, I would have asked Voluna out. She's so nice.
As a player, I was as Curler, obviously it's like, oh, another deity, well, whatever, it
Well,
helps.
Curly
Riz,
was
fine.
actually really open-minded about Voluna, it seemed.
Trying to be. I think like half orc maybe has a. I mean, the orcs are more about the sun. I think kind of. I don't know. Maybe Curler has a soft spot for the moon. Maybe that's just the player coming through. Because as a player, I'm like, oh my god, yay! It's the moon spirit. My first girlfriend turned into the moon. That's rough. Buddy.
Oh, poor guy.
But back to you, Keni. Your feelings on that whole encounter.
I really appreciated it. It seems like Voluna was like, man, I didn't want to give you those nightmares, but I'm kind of contractually obligated right now. sorry, fam.
Yeah, that's
We're
just-
still cool though, right? And it's like, of course we are. Oh my god, she's so
Like,
nice.
that seems to be very high up on the hierarchy.
It's just
of
a
the
minor
gods.
deity. She's just
But
cool.
it's
She's got to
it
listen
also
to
kind
the
of-
aunts and uncles and whatever.
That seems to me like a key level like secretary or something, where like they might not be that high ranking, but their functioning is really important to everybody, and everybody realizes that.
Mm-hmm.
all of
So-
that interaction and the interaction with Thess's priest both kind of undermined or dismissed my thought that maybe Thess was acting because of the anger of another deity. It seems like that's less likely now, and that it is mainly Thess having
I
an
don't
issue
know what I did.
with Riz's actions, but we'll find out. We're
I
gonna find
know.
out. We're finding out together.
I
It's
just
gonna
hope
be all
I
right.
find out before I die. that's
I'm-
my hope.
I mean, you already died.
Yeah,
I did already die once, and I was told I
That's
didn't
true.
have enough, so
I'm
yay,
not bring- I'm not-
purgatory.
Only way that you die is if I die first.
Don't say that. So Kurla got to see what Riz has always seen as themselves, but wasn't sure for a very long time because it's been so long.
And that
what they look
was
like.
sweet. I was happy that you got that reassurance that was what you looked like. I feel like as a player I didn't handle that well because I didn't want to like give off the impression that it was, oh, this is your true form. I didn't accept you before, but now I accept you because I see you as you actually. That wasn't at all what I was going for, but I think that's the impression I left.
Oh, I didn't get it that way as much.
Oh, good. Okay. Just making-
Sorry, the ghost is rattling our doors again. I'm sorry.
No worries.
If I'm jumping, it's because it's like. But yeah, how did you feel about learning that actually was it?
Again, it was really, as a player, it was kind of. It was fascinating having that knowledge. As a character, I think the fact that Kurla could give you that reassurance that, yes, that your perception of yourself is the way that I'm perceiving you via this spell, being able to give you that sense of assuredness and maybe a little bit of a firmer sense of identity, that was I think that brought the two of them closer together, and that makes me happy because
Yeah,
they're both.
I think that evening definitely made him grow closer.
And I'm playing Kurla as basically just Ace, so I don't see any sort of romantic stuff blossoming there, but I think the fact that Kurla has been so devoid of any sort of meaningful connection with folks and has been able to form this connection with Riz, and that it is taking new dimensions, that's really cool to get to play.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
how are you feeling about it as... Yeah, how are you feeling about that?
Ooh. Conflicted.
Oh?
There's a lot of like unsure emotions with what happened.
Interesting.
Yeah, for Riz. So
But not stuff that we can talk about here, stuff that we need to address in
I
character?
think they should be addressed in character.
Okay.
So
Interesting. Now I'm worried.
good. Be worried.
Shit. No, don't tell me that. Well, I mean, the fact that the two characters care about each other, that's
Yeah, that's
and
obvious.
that's deepened from the the first episode because they've been together
Since
2x0.
Zero.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
it's just
notably,
mind-boggling
the
that
rest
they've
of
gone so
the
far.
Fortune's Favor group has been together a lot longer.
Mm.
Let's be honest.
And yet, Kurla knows more about Vera than really anyone else.
I mean, technically, Petraeus knows a lot more about Vera. It's just Vera doesn't know he knows more about Vera.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out what happens next with that
Very-
back and forth.
Very
Go ahead.
sneaky for someone with -7 to sneak.
I will say that he may. Let's say
That's amazing.
Petraeus finds out about everything
Oh.
That'd be exciting.
about all of theirs. Like it's just
Mhm.
in nat 20s on some shit, and it's just like laid out in front of him.
Mhm.
He's likely just gonna go stand up, go find Vera, and just hug them, and that's
Oh,
it.
and Vera's gonna
Like,
hate that.
Oh,
Exactly. You're gonna hate anything he does.
Yeah,
Of-
great,
No,
exactly,
Vera doesn't
great.
like
You'll hug them and you'll hit the wrong damn shoulder, and it'll.
Okay, here's the thing.
Hmm?
Vera looks either Vera is indifferent. This is my perception.
Mm-hmm.
Vera is either indifferent to what Petra does, or they hate what Petra does.
Oh,
You know what? Let's segue into that. Let's get into that now, because we need to talk a little bit about the murder mystery. But I'm happy, if you're happy, Kenny, and everyone's happy. Let's jump into exactly what Vera was so pissed off about
Yeah.
with Petraeus in this episode.
Wait.
I would like to add one more thing, and that's just
Please.
for like the Vera backstory stuff. Petraeus is the character that I am most excited for to actually learn it like by himself, because I think he will have the best reaction to it.
It's probably the most well-deserved for Petraeus to find out about it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thematically.
Because I think that Petraeus of all the characters would have more of a visceral reaction to Vera's backstory rather than like Levette. Levette would learn and be like, "Oh, okay, that's it. Okay."
Did I tell you about the fact that my mom turned into a spider?
That's so jaded. I love it.
So I'm most excited for Petraeus learning this.
I mean, I don't, not knowing what's in store for us, I've been thinking about this too, and I do feel like Levette would probably be like, does Vera want to talk about this? Probably not. I don't really know what else can be done about it. I guess that's it.
But if you learn it, then you can sell it to Cloak. So
This is...
unless he knows it already.
I
You
don't.
might know it.
I don't really have it.
He probably
You're the
doesn't.
secrets I want to get from him. I don't fucking care about anyone
Oh.
else's secrets.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe I do want Vera's backstory.
I mean, Book didn't even know about it.
Oh wow! Wait.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. I'm
Petra-
actually. I
So if
thought
there's some
about
piece
that.
of information that Vera really needs, Vera could trade that secret to Cloak for it.
If there's some piece of information that Riz really needs and finds out from
Yeah.
Petraeus, because my question for you, Zeno, was: are you still going to be excited about Petraeus learning this? Given the fact that as soon as Petraeus learns it, there's a good bet that the rest of the party will learn it from Petraeus.
yeah, definitely.
No.
Petraeus
No.
not gonna be able to.
No. Petraeus is going to keep that shit. If it's,
He's going to
Really?
try to keep it.
he will try. He will try.
I'll see it
And
when
then
it
the
happens.
first NPC that we talked to
I
would be
didn't
like,
try to keep.
Oh,
shit
Vera-
from you.
Did you know
What
about
is
Vera?
this? I season 1 I learned people's shit, but I fucking communicated.
$20 says Skrewy will just forget to tell other people.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
I'm just
mean.
kidding. Aw.
I am a broken individual. Heal me, goddammit.
Well, you know, while we're shitting on Skrewy, let's talk about
Oh, yeah,
Petraeus being a torturer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
that,
Would someone like to recap what exactly happened
so-
down there?
So the next morning, you guys find out that the governor had been murdered. You decide to go and rather than just fight your way out of the city, you're like, well, I think Dursalos kind of convinced you all that the best way to get through this would be to have the lowest amount of bloodshed, would be to actually solve the mystery and bring the actual killer to justice and end this crackdown. So you all go off on your little adventure to find out who done it, essentially. So you find the first clue at the murder scene. You find the weapon is like this monument to Kodre, essentially. It's made of Kodre material. It has Kodran symbols on it. And Riz gets a 40 on a perception check and notices the maker's mark that was very, very tiny on the underside of the blade guard.
I love
no
having a
fucking
large
idea what-
wisdom. Like,
I have no fucking idea what we would have done if you had not seen that.
I would have
I
ended up
think about
blaming
that
the
a lot.
vice
Was it- okay,
governor.
see, the
Let's be
thing-
honest.
But the fact that the weapon was so overtly, it was just over the top. That
it was
Kodre
a place
independent.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
So-
"Oh, case closed," and I'm like, "You're a fucking bitch. I'm gonna kill you. Let me
So-
put a Gios on him, please."
So then you guys follow the clues to figure out what that mark is. You found out it was the maker's mark for a specific blacksmith. You went to the blacksmith. You talked to the smith there. She indicated that it was a rush job from a secret client, and they paid all in freshly minted Protean coin. At that point, you figured out, oh, maybe there's a discrepancy in the treasury. So you went to the treasurer,
Pissed
and
off the treasurer.
pissed him off quickly.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, I was like,
I wasn't able
I
to
didn't-
get my mouth open.
yeah, I didn't get to talk very much, and I was like, we stopped we fucked this up the minute we opened our mouth. What happened?
You think I'm
I
going to
don't
trust someone
really
with
know what we
money?
could have done differently. He
I
was
just
kinda,
don't.
like,
I don't think we asked it correctly. Is more the
maybe,
issue.
but
Essentially
I don't know what we could have done
insinuated.
differently. Asked differently, because like the question he was upset about answering was the fucking murder mystery. We're
The
like,
issue was that we were saying he had a discrepancy, putting into question that he did his job wrong, and that was
Right.
I
very
never
disrespectful.
said as such.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
Perla
But that's the
did.
point, right?
Okay.
My point was that wasn't the case. What I had wanted to know at the end was that, okay, fine, there isn't a discrepancy in the numbers, so
But we had
who
already
would
kind of
be-
like said that in the beginning, so like pushing it too much made him throw us out.
But also realize that was probably intentional on my part, because you guys got the information you needed from him, and he was done with you. So he no longer saw you as being someone who could actually do anything other than annoy him
Yeah.
and slow him down from his work. So
Yeah.
he expelled you guys from the treasury, but at that point you already had all the information you needed from him, which was that the treasury was in order. And
Yeah.
that since you know the treasury is in order and that money got spent, you knew that money had to come from somewhere legitimately. So then you're like, well, soldiers don't get paid that much. So unless this was a bunch of soldiers working together, which I don't think you guys ever considered.
I had considered it, but I was like, I don't know how to fucking ask them. Like,
Right.
did you and 6 guys murder the fucking governor?
governor?
Yeah, it would
Like-
take regular soldiers, so many regular soldiers, enough to want to stir shit up.
Right. But then at the same time, you find out from the garrison commander that the people in the military typically don't really get involved in the machinations of the politicians at that level.
Right.
So, it
Which
wouldn't
I
made a
had
whole lot of
fucked
sense
up
for them
because
to
I
do
was
anyway.
assuming that with the Roman connection that they were in bed together as they were with very much in Rome, that you had that deep connection.
At a
between-
certain tier, yes, but
Right.
regular soldiers, they could
Right.
give less of a shit as long as they're getting paid regularly and have food.
And that was why I was pushing at the end to find out, well, who were the higher tiers who would have that amount of money correctly and without a
Right.
discrepancy in the numbers.
We
Well,
didn't get
governor,
an
the
exact
vice
number,
governor.
though. That's an issue
No.
that I forgot before we left the blacksmiths.
I do want to talk
So-
about the Petra stuff, but while we're on the topic of the guard commander, I am curious of thoughts of other players. Did anyone feel like I was curious if anyone had any feelings on the fact that I kind of just exonerated him on the spot? Because I like as a player, I wasn't necessarily
Exon?
going to clear him, but I was to clear his name, to say to him to his face, "We know you didn't do it." Which, like, as a
Oh.
player, it was like I don't necessarily believe
It's a
that, but
bluff.
yeah,
Is
that was
what
kind
that
of
was trying to do? Because I was getting the opposite. I was getting the you need to stop making him feel like he might be a suspect. I was all for buttering him up.
Well, that was She was like, "Look, you are a suspect, but you're clearly innocent
We
because
know
look
that
at
you wouldn't do something like that because you're just an upstanding citizen, correct?
Right, exactly. That was her whole approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Riz was on the same page as you.
Okay.
Was like, beef him up, see if he slips up.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
Because I
seem
was-
like it.
I was worried that some players were going to, like some of the characters, I should say, were going to see that and be like, "Wait, we haven't cleared him yet," and just be like, "Ah."
I don't know.
I think
Mhm.
what I should have done
For what?
was ask everyone to leave.
When?
Before
When?
Before you beat someone up?
Before you
Yes.
tortured someone, or before you revealed who your real name was?
So you would have preferred to have done it and just got away with it without pissing off Farah. Not that you
Are
would
you
have preferred not
sure
to do
your
it at
character's
all.
good aligned, broski?
This is shades of Marcus coming back.
Oh.
Here, let me
this-
just torture
This was
guy.
this.
Soul, I know you just married that guy, but you and him will never have the same relationship that we do.
We'll never be as
I
close as we are.
Yeah.
I have regrets. I do have regrets, but
you regretting that spaghetti.
You're good, man.
I don't feel. How do I?
Don't
how do I
end
frame
it
this?
there.
How do I frame this? He knew what he was doing was wrong, necessarily. Like
Mhm.
it. He did. It's not that he didn't. He knew what he was doing was a means to an end for a positive outcome.
Even though the garrison
Interesting.
leader wasn't even watching you when you were doing it.
Yes, but then if ingratiate yourself to the lowers are like, oh yeah, he's good, and then you get with the upper will be more apt to spill the beans.
So what you're saying is it's okay to bend the rules as long as you get where the ends essentially justify the means. So
Man, you're starting to sound like Soul.
You bend some rules to get the outcome you're looking for, and to me that sounds like not a paladin.
Well, now here's a question for you, Skrewy. When you were doing that move, with the punching them, but under cover of trying to make it subtle, actually healing them, was your thought, okay, this guy's suffering, I need to heal him, or was it what it was interpreted to be by Beardy and the NPCs and everyone else, that let's heal them so we can beat the shit out of them more? What was in Petra's heart and mind at that point?
Petra's heart was, okay, I know it's going to look like I'm hurting him, but I'm going to heal him so that he's not hurt as I'm doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That's what I'm pretty sure Skrewy straight up said that as well in the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just to make that absolutely clear, though, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. His intention was not to show them, hey, if you heal them as you're hurting them, you can hurt them for longer. You can prolong the pain, and wherein then they're more afraid of the pain. Yeah, they're not hurt for very long, but they keep getting it's like, ow, I stubbed my toe, and but it's healed immediately, but you got to still repeatedly stub your toe.
Yeah, that's awful.
Having doing the talking was a terrifying experience. When I pull him aside to like, okay, you're gonna have to do the talking here. My head, I was like, what's the worst that could happen? I was like, wrong approach. Don't even think about that a lot. Just like, it was more like, are they going to, in any circumstances, no matter how reasonable I am, listen to 3-foot-tall Levette over macho Petraeus? I was like, probably not. I can probably be as polite as I want, and they'll just laugh at me because I'm a tiny little gnome.
Yeah, and they hate other races.
Yeah, and other races and stuff, and they hate non-Proteans.
Are Proteans all human normally? Is it mostly a human colony?
Protus is mostly human, but that's by no means they're by no means a homogenous society. Now they do in the terms of like their military, they definitely see race more clear cut than other groups. Where like other militaries might have like integrated service, like you're in the army, you're just in the army. So a human and an elf would serve together. The Proteans are much more likely to have specific specialist units. So it's like, this is a whole unit of elves, and this is a whole unit of halflings, this is a whole unit of half-orcs, because they see it in more utilitarian terms, and they're like, because
each section
I know
has their
that
ability.
these guys are good at this, so we're going to make a specialist unit of just these people that are good at just this task, because their military is advanced enough to have specialist units.
I mean,
you could say maybe that's racist. I don't know.
I think pragmatic, though, is the way that they're going to look at it.
Yeah, they're going to look at it as pragmatism, for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I think having
don't see it as being inferior or superior. Like, they're not saying, like, these guys are not human, therefore they're cannon fodder. They're going to say, half-orcs are well known as being, like, brutal savages.
I beg your fucking pardon there.
So we're going to put them into a position where they can, like, be the first into a gap and really cause a lot of damage.
I don't know about that, but I do think that separating the small races into their own regiments is probably a good idea. So you get a lot fewer people tripping over each other in the charge.
Or you just put them in the front.
Well, then people will trip over them when they charge. They're slower. Well, then they're no good.
They can't see over them.
On the outside, in a line.
No. There's two uses for the small races. You either attach parachutes to them and launch them with catapults.
What the fuck?
To drop in behind enemy lines, or they're there as a flanking force and they sneak around and they attack people from the flank.
I mean, given that my next character, I plan to be a halfling who will very likely do both of those things, I guess that's fair.
So best intentions of Skrewy and Petraeus aside, obviously it was not the way that it was interpreted by the guards, and certainly not the way that Vera saw it, regardless of what your intentions were. Vera wasn't having any of that shit. So let's talk about that scene once y'all were in private again.
Oh my god.
I was ready for it. The minute, Skrewy was like, I'm gonna hurt this person, I looked at Zeno and I was like, oh, hell yes! I can't wait for Vera to be mad about this.
Whenever Vera
Yes!
gets mad, it's like a horror movie where I'm like, I am terrified
for
right
it.
now, but I want more. I can't draw myself away.
It's the monster you cheer for.
I
Yeah.
gotta admit, I was really excited to see Vera pissed off and not at Kurla.
I know! It
That's
wasn't
exciting
against
for me.
us, and it's been a long time since Vera's actually been angry with Petra.
Hmm.
When was
Zeno,
Yeah, what's up?
how was that for you?
I mean, first of all, I enjoyed reading the comments where Mop's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Stick it to him, Vera!
fuck yeah!" But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I definitely knew that. Actually, the first thing I was considering was that Vera would literally hit him in the face as he was doing it. But she also knew that we needed to find the culprit and not jeopardize the mission to hopefully save more lives.
There's a chance you would have gotten assaulted then, been like,
I mean,
how dare you hurt this soldier, veteran dude.
I also, the entire time, was thinking, was this like a dungeon? Like an entrance and then it just goes in, or?
It was in the right wing of the palace, was it?
Yeah, so this was one
The
of the
garrison.
back sections of the palace. There's the soldiers' garrison, and they were taking people in there because they have a brig in the garrison.
Mhm.
So this is where they were rounding up the usual
Working them
suspects and bringing them in and working people over for information.
Because I didn't know if there was like only one entrance or if there was an exit or anything. Because if there wasn't,
There were multiple entrances
Yeah.
and exits, yeah.
and that's why I didn't do the thing that I was like, oh, I could see off this area and take care of everybody, because that's what Vera would want to do. Like, straight up, she just does not want to see this happening to the people that she has vowed to protect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I obviously want the investigation to go well and few people get hurt, but if it does go into a situation where we have to fight our way through hordes of soldiers to get out of the city, I, as a player, won't be terribly upset by that. That sounds like it could be a good time in D&D.
I like this
obviously
kind of
will work against that outcome as hard as possible in character, but, you know, like, hedging your bets always works out.
So,
I have a question to the whole party.
yes.
Do you think that the Protean Empire would not have an answer to you guys?
I mean, they have
Not
a lot
have
of
an
people.
answer?
They probably have plenty
They
of.
probably
Oh,
did.
I think we'd be screwed if we tried fighting them.
Okay.
I think we would be.
That's what you mean.
I think we would be fine in this initial outburst.
Okay.
Right,
And
yeah,
then
no.
they'd bring in things that could actually deal with us.
Well, I think it would
I
fuck
think
over the
we're-
people of this village more so,
Yes.
and
would call
I
it a
don't want
village.
that.
Yeah.
The reprisals would definitely be aimed towards the innocent, not towards us. And we'd be
Yeah.
shooting
No.
ourselves over, because what are we going to do when we're not heading back east again? We're heading directly towards Protus and having...
Well,
they don't need
I
to know
think
that we're coming and that they don't like us.
I think we might find out if they have an answer for us, thanks to some things that Petra decided to tell people.
yeah.
That's also a good point.
Speaking of,
So you're
Well,
supposed to be dead, huh,
Yeah.
mate?
But let's give Skrewy first an opportunity to respond
Okay,
to
yeah.
that whole
That's fair.
situation with
Oh,
Vera.
okay, so let me put you back in the very vast, empty headspace of Petra.
Mhm.
There's a lot of room.
That's a sad excuse.
But we love him anyway.
I am.
Go ahead.
No, I am interested in did Petra take anything away from Vera yelling at them, or was he annoyed? It seemed like he was more annoyed that she was this upset.
He knew that they were upset, but he was also trying to explain himself, and he wants them to understand that he's trying to do the most good, and he knows that Vera wants everybody. He wants Vera to recognize that he understood that sucked. He understood that he was kind of stepping on the toes of what we were trying to do that the hive is trying to do. But to be able to do what we want to do, we have to go through the muck of the things that suck. If you understand my my meaning. So
Yeah.
it's you have to trudge through the shit to get to where you want to be, and
You have
you
to break a
can't
few
always-
eggs.
yeah, egg.
Not of innocent people.
Yes, he understands, and he doesn't. And
I think that's the difference for Vera. Is like,
Yeah.
I don't care if you like do it to bad people that are like authorities doing bad things to those like who are innocent, but if you do it to innocents, fuck you.
Then you better find a new way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see Vera buying that.
oh no, I
logic.
don't either. I don't either. He's going to. Petra's trying to find his way. He's trying to find his balance.
Well, he's had 5
And-
years.
Hey,
Yeah.
but he's
Yeah.
slow. Which
He
is
is.
He's had hundreds of, or like 100 some years.
Yeah, he's 100 something. He's really old, guys.
Yeah. He's also really fucking slow.
That's fine.
It's because of
Balance
armor.
is not a thing that's always attained.
But when it comes to the slip up of his name, in his mind he was talking to another legionnaire. He was talking to another soldier. So it was
Wouldn't that make
You
it
just-
worse?
yes,
I mean,
no,
yeah.
no.
Hey, other
I
soldier, I'm a
understand that.
deserter.
But he didn't. In his mind, he was thrown back to where he was within the Legion,
It was nostalgic.
and
Gotcha.
yeah, and he was just sir, yes sir kind of deal. And
I think there's just also that layer. Like we talked about this a little bit post game last night, but like that I thought about when Levette pulled him aside, saying like trying to come up with a cover name, and I was like, we're not going to come up with anything. Like if we come up with anything, it won't sound believable, and it might sound unbelievable enough that Petra will just blurt out his real name anyway. So I thought
and then
I
make
was
it
like,
even worse.
I was like, he'll either come up with something or he won't. But then when we got to the commander, and it was like, oh, this is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I guess we skipped over you saying your name to the other group of legionnaires, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that was-
yeah,
more passable. I mean, not great, but like they didn't know you by name.
Oh, but they also
They
did.
asked for it though.
They
They
asked
did.
for
Yeah,
it, but they forgot to. Once they talked to the fake Protean Vera, they just didn't give a shit about asking the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Because like,
Interestingly-
oh, there's a Protean here. Whatever, you're all fine.
I can see this leading to interesting places with Petraeus's brother, because obviously we now know that Petraeus is aware of their brother. We aren't sure if the brother is aware of Petraeus. If they were, and word of the fact that Petraeus is alive filters back to Protoss as it might from this
I mean, who
this
knows
commander,
if they know?
they might be
if-
waiting for Petraeus. Yeah.
Who knows if they have the same last name though? Because Petraeus was adopted,
That's a good point.
so I don't know if he would recognize that.
That really probably depends on whether or not his brother knows that he exists.
Yeah,
Do
What
we,
if that was
do
your
we know
brother?
if the brother is an Oriad brother?
we do not.
we don't.
No,
We don't, but Petra's been around for like almost 200 years, and he had like it would be if they're brothers, then either they have Oriad parents that with human offspring, or he has to be something that lives as long.
Hmm.
I did not think of that. I honestly did not think of the age aspect of it, of the
Really?
fact that if they would be still alive.
But they have to
fact
be.
that-
I mean,
I mean,
we
that's what I mean,
discovered
like,
they
that they're
are still
alive.
alive.
Well, no.
Yeah.
The point that that the fact that they're still, I didn't connect that. They're still alive, so that must mean they are.
Longer lived than
Something
human,
outside of
or
a
really
human.
old. I guess he could
Or
be
really
just a
fucking
grandpa.
Well, I mean, there's
Really
also the
venerable
possibility of Grem saying like they were longer-lived beings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With
I mean, there's even the possibility that your parents are Oriads,
or they're
that-
elves.
or elves or something
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
like. Well, yeah, I guess that is possible.
Being a Genasi doesn't restrict you to just
Yeah,
having human
just human.
parents.
That's
What
a
if-
fair point.
What if your
So-
parents are from Pentris?
That would be crazy.
What if
dead,
everyone
it's
here is
fine.
somehow from Petraeus estates?
Oh
It's
my
all just
god.
linking back
I
to
don't
Mine.
want.
How many?
This
How
is-
many
we're
characters?
gonna do
Oh.
How many characters are
We're
there?
gonna do it.
5. 5 families.
Oh my
Oh.
fucking god!
We're
shut
gonna
the
do
fuck-
Oh my
We'll pull a
fucking
Final
God.
Fantasy VIII, and everyone's from the same orphanage.
No.
So Zeno, I guess there isn't really a way back from this interaction with Petraeus, but do you see a way forward for Vera and Petraeus, or is this an inflection point?
I am going to be spending this week deciding how Vera is going to take this. But much like they've told to Kurla, they're not going to throw someone away because of a mistake. But they're going to figure it out.
Sure. Which I appreciate and Kurla appreciates, and I'm sure Petraeus is going to appreciate too.
Well, Petra is still devoted to the long-term goals, so we'll see how it turns out.
You know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about Petraeus' attempts to proselytize for
Oh
the Holy Trinity that has been divined here. Or
Bro,
decided
if
on
you make me an enemy of Prinia, I swear.
the
Muscle
new
memory.
deity of love.
On that territory, I like it.
He is this is how he understood Soul's instruction.
At least let me
Yeah.
take out a tire or something instead. Like,
Yeah.
Prinia's our chill god.
Just wait. Gabe will be preaching about how terrible of a god Soul is.
I
can't get
know.
this
There's like a
without it.
chance that I have to do this by season 4.
But wouldn't that
Do
be
you
kind of
want to
funny?
heal or not?
That Gabe is in charge of like rooting out this other love god and getting rid of their worshippers.
The music just got creepy for the stream, by the way, so that's fun. That's
Good timing
great.
on that.
That'll
It's
be
just
good.
random. It's just a random playlist put together. It's great. It's cool.
I'm very curious to see where this goes from here with Petra trying to balance not just now 2 but 3 deities and trying to get followers for them in this way and upsetting other deities possibly in the process. That's
Yes, so many side quests.
Man, he's just pissing off
Yeah.
everybody, isn't he?
kind
Well,
of.
that knows about the
It's
soul
Petra's
stuff now
turn.
too, so
Yeah.
that might come into play yet.
Kurla was
Just-
pissing off everyone, Levette was pissing off everyone, now it's Petraeus' turn to piss off everyone.
Mhm.
I'm
I think
never
he did
gonna
that right
piss
away,
off
didn't
anyone.
he? Didn't Petraeus come in here being like, it won't be a knife?
It'll be my hammer.
Yeah,
God,
that was
God,
the
why
edgy
does-
fucking Petra.
Why
and I
does-
apologize for that.
Yeah, but why do you
I don't
have
know.
all the catchphrases?
You do have some really goddamn great quotes. Ah.
More of which will be added to the wiki. Shameless
true.
plug for the wiki.
Yeah, if you want to see the wiki, it is found below in the description area. Thank you.
It's really good.
Yes.
Very thorough.
So, unless anyone has anything else on Petraeus' religious adventures, misadventures.
It's all stuff I want to say for character.
I can't
so
wait till we go to Proto.
Man, can we start
I'm
playing this again?
curious.
I want to play
Yeah.
You
again.
guys ready to play after this?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I,
I
wanna
can
play
skip
right
my
now.
stream and
Yeah.
we can
Me
just play
too.
more check, please.
I mean, I do have to write the next section.
Yeah, exactly.
Still, so, I
Gotcha.
mean,
Yes, but will we
So-
actually get out of the town?
Gods, I hope
okay,
so.
to answer that question, I had figured that you would have actually finished this all up and gotten out of town last night.
Yeah.
So,
Nope.
y'all are consistently slower than I expected.
I told you. I told you. I was like, the murder mystery that I did took far longer than I ever thought, and I was like, it's gonna be a one and done, like 2-hour game. It ended up being 6 fucking hours for the Halloween special.
Because here's the thing,
I'm-
it complicates the entire thing when your primary murder suspect is literally like the highest level of the town. Like other
Like,
than
we need
the king of
proof.
Kodre.
No,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think it's slowed down for the same reason the Halloween one did. It was all the conversations beforehand.
Like if there's
We-
some
It-
if Gal was it Galaris? What was his name?
I
Delaris?
just want to say that's a really interesting point you just made there, Zeno, and I don't know if you even realized the point you just made.
What?
About the highest level of government thing. Yeah, I've been thinking about that too because that's been the we haven't gotten. Well, I guess we kind of jumped over that question, but about like our suspicions about who done it.
Oh,
I had
no,
my
we were coming
feelings
up on
that-
it.
I
Were
was
we coming up
building
on
to that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I meddled things around, but go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, okay. Well, that was actually kind of my thoughts. Was like at first I was very much leaning towards the vice governor didn't do it just because it seemed too obvious, and like there were motivations, but it was just some kind of abrupt, and we were here, and it seemed like maybe there have been hints at greater forces manipulating events in general on some level, with us getting like dreams and stuff. But then it was like, oh, also if it is this guy, like, what can we realistically do about that? Well, I think Vera knows what she'll do about that.
Oh, I already said what
the
I would
rest
do.
of us,
Yeah.
Y'all just thought it was a joke.
I did think it was a joke.
No,
Fuck.
so it was serious.
I don't. Vera don't joke around. I've learned that shit.
But we're looking forward to finding out who it is, regardless of whether it's the vice governor or not. So, but
Yeah.
Grem, you're thinking that it's probably too obvious for it to be the vice governor.
Now I'm on the fence because, like I said, there is just that interesting conflict of like if everything points to him and he did do it, like we have no way to accuse him. We can't unless we have like I don't know how the Protean legal system works, but they seem to be very devout. So maybe if they have some sort of religious tie to justice, that he needs to submit the truth to the gods or something like that. If we can appeal to a grander authority here, then we can
I could
maybe
contact
make a
Bella.
difference.
Or a Gias. They can
Yeah,
conduct-
Or
please just let me
Gias.
use a Gios and make him tell the truth.
Okay, so Levette is really
Confess!
opposed to that, but Gias is one of my favorite spells, so I, as a player, am not as opposed to it as I'm saying in character. I want to let you know.
It's
It is
been
an
used on
extreme resort.
Paydor, so
It's
why
a horrible
the fuck
thing
not?
to do to someone, but it's a really cool spell.
But what if he's a
Careful.
bad person?
That doesn't make it a better thing to do to a
That's
person.
actually, yeah. Free will and consent are big for Curler, but at
Yeah,
the
it's
same time,
not
I kind of
for
want to
us.
get through this.
If free will and consent are huge for Levette, since those have been like her primary concerns with things. But
We'll get into that
also-
about Moira in character.
yeah. But
Anyone
like,
else got theories about where things are going to go from here?
The reason I'm just worried is because I literally don't know if he done it. Because like literally, as soon as I saw him, I was like, this all adds up to be him because like he had the most to gain. And from what I learned about APS beforehand, it's like, oh yeah, he's not doing as good a job
Well,
like for Protus.
the
or
garrison leader
Proto.
said something very specific. Was he was in charge until someone else gets picked?
I thought that was the
Mhm.
aide.
the aide does, yes, and someone
Yeah.
else is the guy. This guy, the vice
Oh, okay.
governor. Yeah.
So I'm
I guess I have some suspicions that I don't know why I latched onto those guards, but sorry, I cut you off.
no, go ahead.
But when they talked about them having like the special guards that are loyal to him alone,
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mhm.
like, man, one of them could do it and like for their own reasons, and everything would point to him. So if they had reasons to do that, they have
Maybe
a
it's
perfect
loyalty that
scapegoat.
was the
So you
reason.
need to, you see, you might need to go
And,
track.
Well, that-
Victor,
I mean, I think our
actually.
next
Yeah.
goal is to talk to those guards, anyways.
There is
Right.
Right, the
there's
lictors,
historical
that's what they're
precedent for oh my goodness, a Praetorian guard cadre assassinating high-ranking Roman not Petron, Roman Protean
Approaching.
Protean high-ranking officials. So that
Yeah.
I want to investigate. I want to have a chat with them. Anyone else want to offer theories? What they're excited about doing?
I'm bad
next
at
week?
riddles,
I'm
guys.
I'm just worried because I just feel like Gallus is too easy to go to. It's like,
yeah.
Right.
he's the one that points to, and I don't like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm. It's like my gut feeling says there's more to this. At the very
It's
least,
the fact that he's usurping. That's all there is to it.
Well, it's also the fact that we haven't gotten any other information that directly actually points to him, other than like
Right.
gut feeling.
right? Like we have a bunch of things that implicate him, but no evidence yet.
Yeah.
Circumstantial evidence.
Because
And-
we don't have fingerprints in this time.
Like,
Oh my
half of
God!
I mean, all of the Protean government officials like present are not equally culpable, but still, like almost all of the factors could point to any of them. Any of them, like a lot of them weren't happy with the current guy's rule. Like in general, they weren't happy with it. They like all of them have reason, the equal reason to frame the locals and make
Reason.
life worse for them.
But
I didn't use the accent. What do you want?
I swear I heard my name.
And like even the money thing, right? Like as long anyone who has enough money to have bought the knife is still a valid. Really, that's kind of what it comes down to. Is like everybody who has the money to have bought the knife also has motives to some degree. Not as many motives, but you don't find out who done it by finding out who has the most motives. You find out who done it by finding out who did it by getting proof.
Motive, means, and opportunity.
Right.
The three we must establish.
See, I look at him. There's an old saying: when you hear a thundering herd of hoofbeats, you don't look for a zebra.
No, you look for a unicorn. Sorry.
Yeah, no. It's. I get you. No, but I
look
It's
for
Occam's
the
razor. All
horsies.
things being equal, the simplest explanation is usually the right one.
What if he's your brother?
I mean,
well, fuck him if he is.
you haven't had Riz use the spell anytime recently, so we don't know how far or close he is or what station he's been put at, like if he's
That is
part of the army.
Excellent point.
It's been
Very
time
true.
since we were in
Very true.
Sejun, in this area technically.
Potentially a month or so, at least.
A little over a month, I think.
And I've really got to remember, speaking of family members and Riz tracking them down, I've really got to remember to ask you, but it hasn't.
do.
There hasn't been a good moment yet. But
I
need
know, and they have no reason to bring it up with you, unfortunately, because I would have really easily last night, but I was like, oh no, they don't fully know what's going on with your dad, so they wouldn't bring it up.
We'll get to it. There's time. Well, final thoughts from anyone else?
Look at our wiki, go to our YouTube, subscribe, follow us here.
Absolutely. Tell your
And we'll be
friends.
airing again next week.
Yep, we will not have a game showing on Wednesday. We don't have anything for Wednesday, but we will, of course, have our normal game at
Ooh, pardon me.
8 p.m. Central Time next Saturday. With
I was
the
overexcited about our next game this weekend.
with the
sounds
checkpoint following on Sunday.
Yes.
And then I believe on the 4th, yes, the 4th we will not have a live game or checkpoint that weekend. So we're going to take a week off. December's going to be a little bit of a harder month for us, but we, for the most part, will try our best to at least get 2 games in that month, I believe. So
And we've got a backlog of
cool.
content for our
Yeah,
fans in that
so-
time.
we'll work on it. So
Well,
in the meantime, thank you all so much for rolling with us. We can't wait to see you again next week, and hopefully we can figure out this goddamn murder mystery next time, because I'm so bad at these! I'm just so bad at these! Riddles and fucking dolphins, fuck you, Grem!
that
I'm sorry.
remains
I couldn't help
a
myself.
completely valid answer. That's still a correct answer to the riddle.
I had been thinking about that riddle prior, like that day, like leading up to the session. It just kept popping in my head for some reason. I kept laughing dolphin. It's just like, oh my god.
Wait, I've got it. Riz needs to find and then give up a dolphin to afford the wind.
See?
I just need to
Yeah,
die
that's facts.
again, I feel like, and then go back to the guy who's like, you don't have enough, and be like, do I have enough now, bitch?
If this ends with me having to kill you versus bring you back from death,
Hot.
I'm just... no.
That's really cool. That's deep. I like it.
So
Ritualistic murder of another player.
I love it
Yeah.
and hate it at the same time.
be like, well, we saved this world.
Didn't we?
I'm not needed anymore. What if I'm fucking Owen, dudes?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. But
Yeah.
also, didn't we already ritual murder Marcus?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
you
a
gotta do one
constant
every
with this
season.
group
One
of
every
people.
season.
Oh
Gotta do one every
no!
season.
I don't want to
Gotta
do that
involve
as my
Hildy in
sweet
every
soft
season, too.
boy.
Oh.
You don't have to next season. We'll pick someone else.
Okay. Well, I don't mean I want to die. I just don't want to kill anyone as my sweet soft boy. That's all.
Oh, okay.
He
Oh,
would
no.
be too traumatized.
I think your soft boy's gonna kill someone.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
I think so.
Look forward to season 3, but in the meantime, we are gonna keep enjoying season 2. We'll roll with you next week. We love you all. See you
Yes.
next time. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.